Greetings, my good viewers. Welcome back to this amazing platform, a talk show called Agnes Nkanya Show. I'm your host, called Agnes Nkanya. And are you okay? I'm doing okay. This is a new week. We started a new week that is beautiful. God has graced us with life, gift of life. God has graced us with good health. God has graced us with so many beautiful things. We have rain. If things are not working all right in your season, believe that things are going to work out. It all works for good for them that love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. As you know, them that have been following this platform, I started a talk show of my journey, an episode where I'm sharing bits and pieces of how I'm recovering from pain and rebuilding my strength back to uplifting my voice of leadership, uplifting my voice of serving the community. So this was inspired out of the many questions people have been asking me in the community of Tharaka Nithi County. And because I decided to bring my life out in the public, it is acting as an inspiration. This beautiful platform where we're talking about issues of life, of my journey, or how I'm transitioning from one season of life to another. And all this was inspired because of the many questions I've been getting from the grassroots of Tharaka Nithi County. I'm a human rights advocate where I champion and promote the rights, inclusivity, and justice for the special interest group. I promote and protect the rights and justice of vulnerable people in the society. We also protect their social welfare by donating beds, mattresses, and blankets for uplifting their self-esteem, uplifting their strength and their focus in life. So the last episode, before we get there, I'm going to show you the look check for the day. This is how I'm dressed on a kitenge African dress, like that, with some sandals. The dress is like this, behind it looks like that, and then like that on the shoulders. It has a small design around here on the neck, and then I've decorated it with a belt. This dress is very sentimental to my life. Because I'm going to tell you more about it. The last story I told you about is how I was chased away from home and how I used my own strength to be able to recover my journey, to be able to recover my focus, to be able to re-energize myself in moving forward. The reason why I'm sharing these stories is it's not to make my family look bad. It's not because of wanting to share my weaknesses or anything bad about my life, but it is about being authentic. It is about being authentic about my journey. It is an inspiration to someone else who might be in a similar kind of a season. It will be an inspiration to another young person who might want to be getting into politics or in a public eye. It will be an inspiration to families in the society for them to be able to understand that it is not useful to harbor hatred and anger. It is also an inspiration to be able to in the society to end gender-based violence in the communities and to end gender-based violence in homes. So I'm going to take you through my my transition process of how after I became homeless, how I was able to settle down and how I was able to get back to my strength. So before then, I wish to tell you that after I was finally chased away from home, my parents, I called my mom and reached out to her to release my bed, my gas cooker, my things that I need for my upkeep, because she had transferred everything back to the village. I called her, but she refused to cooperate. So when she refused to cooperate, I didn't have the things I can be able to use for my own maintenance, for my own sustainability. So the only option that I was left with is to go back to the police station where I had reported their case. I went and talked to the OCS, and OCS supported me. He gave me one of his security people, he gave me his inspector, and we went back to the village to pick my things, because I had requested my parents to release my bed, to release my makeup, to release my clothes, but they had totally refused. So we organized one day. I had to go there with the inspector of police of Chuka police station, and that is how I was able to take my things back. But when we were going there, I requested OCS that the inspector should not wear uniform, na tusiende na gari ko branded the police station colors. So we had to go with a normal car, just to avoid the tension of causing drama, the tension of causing the community to getting attracted to my issues. So tulienda na gari ya kawaida, we went home. And when we got home, the funny thing is that my mom, my dad, they started taking me around in circles, asking me, mbona huko umereport, ati unakujia vitu zako, na tukisema tukupatii utafanya nini? You can imagine, I'm out from politics, I have no sustainability, and then all of a sudden wanaanza taking me around in circles, tukisema tukupatii vitu zako utafanya aje? Ati hauko umebook appointment ya kukujia vitu zako. Can you imagine? This is my own mother invoking such kind of conversation, my own father invoking such kind of conversation. They were not merciful, they were not showing any kindness, and they kept pulling back and forth argument, and I was so broken by that time I could not even talk. And the moment I saw they are bent on having issues, argument, I told them I've not come for argument, I've just come to pick my things and start my life afresh. And they were like, we think hata hizi vitu ni sisi tulikusaidia ukazipata, so hata tunaweza sema tukupatii. And then that moment I told inspector to take charge, because all this while inspector was quiet, he was observing what the conversation between me and my parent was like. The moment he took charge and he introduced himself as an inspector of police, that is when now the whole conversation changed. They changed very quickly, they started being respectful, and they were compelled to release my things as fast as they could, because they had totally refused. You can imagine this inspector akaanza kuambia mimi ni fulani, I'm the inspector of Chuka police station, mbona mnasumbua huyu msichana, muachilie vitu zake ama tuchukue sheria sahi tujue what the next step tutachukua. That's how my things were released. Can you imagine? I was psychologically tortured by my parents. My rights were violated, and that is why I'm very passionate about human rights. They tortured me emotionally, they tortured me psychologically, they tortured me physically. As I told you there prior, how my dad sexually harassed me in my own bedroom, sexually harassed me, beating me when I was halfway naked. You can imagine such kind of situations. Such things are happening in our societies, but people are not willing to come out with their stories. People are afraid to go and report such kind of issues at the police station. But I chose to use my story as an inspirational lesson for people to get to know these things are existing, these things are real, and we need to change our behaviors. We need to show more love in family homesteads. We need to show more compassion in family homesteads. We need to embrace more forgiveness, dialogues. Let's involve dialogues where we can sit down, talk about what is the problem, and how we can be able to find a solution together without having to have all the time push and pull, without having all the time to have push and pull about the side shows, and focus on solution. Okay. So the issues that I'm trying to emphasize is that after I took my things, the dress that you've seen me wearing, the house that I was given, I was not able to settle in that house immediately. I was not able to settle in that house immediately because my things had not been placed in the house. So I shared my issue with our reverend of our church. I go to a church called A.R.S, and when they knew about my issue, they helped me with 1,000 shillings, and I was able to go to a prayer center called Ebenezer Prayer Center in Dagani. So I went there at Ebenezer Prayer Center with that one dress that I used to have for that 1 month when I was sleeping outside. So after going there, at the prayer center, it is a place where they have accommodation and there's no food because it is purposely for fasting and prayers. So when I went there, they got to know me because by then my story was all over. They got to know me through my journey, and they were like, we are going to work with you and help you. And this dress you're seeing here, I was given there at Ebenezer Prayer Center. It was one of the ways that God started restoring my life. I didn't have clothes to wear. I was given 2 dresses. This is one of them, and that is why I'm saying this dress is very sentimental to me. The secretary who was employed there, she was so kind to me. She gave me one of her dresses and she gifted me as a gift. The moment I went returning the dress back, she told me it is a gift that she had blessed me with because of the season that I was in. So having gotten people to walk with me, strangers who are not related to me, that one opened my eyes as a training that God was teaching me on how to impact other people's lives. And that is how A.R.S Foundation was birthed, out of compassion that I received from strangers, out of the compassion and the love that I received from people who are not related to me. They taught me on how I can be able to extend mercy and kindness to other people. They taught me mercy and I thought, why should I not extend this kind of mercy also to someone else? So on emphasizing the topic about today, I have a little speech to talk about concerning gender-based violence, because those are one of the programs that I champion with A.R.S Foundation. It is a community-based organization where we champion and end issues about gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is a very wide topic that has domestic violence, that has rape and defilement, that has FGM, that has psychological torture, emotional torture, all those things that revolves around fighting, insulting one another, and commotions at home are all related to gender-based violence. So having gone through the pain of gender-based violence, I use my example, I use my pain to be able to become a solution to other people in the society. And I wish to tell the world that we need to fix the woundedness we're experiencing as a society. Instead of putting stigmatization to the people that are going through pain, instead of putting stigmatization to the people that are coming out and seeking help through gender-based violence, through economic challenges, through health challenges, we need to embrace an act of kindness. We need to be more intentional in showing compassion and empathy. Healing of trauma wounds cannot happen if we are not willing to uncover the wound that we are going through by ourselves. This will be by discussing difficult hidden conversations around our homes. If we do not come out to discuss the hidden conversations that people say, hii mambo ni ya nyumbani, hii mambo inafaa kuongelelewa na committee ya familia. Let's stop hiding pain in the name of hii mambo ni ya nyumbani. Let's stop hiding pain in the name of utaenda kuibisha familia. If you have pain, if you have something that you cannot control, if you have something that you've tried so hard to solve and you're not finding any solution, come out and tell the world. Come out and find solutions. Come out and seek help. And don't put the energy of what wataniona aji. Come out and speak out. And by speaking out, you'll be able to find your own community. By speaking out, you'll be able to find people that will relate with your journey and walk with you. In theory and in ideal minds of our country Kenya, legal framework of our constitution, it is written very well on the frameworks of how we're supposed to end gender-based violence. But in the reality, in our homes, in the real practice, gender-based violence is happening on day-to-day basis. In the paperwork, it is written very well, but what is written in paperwork is not happening huku mashinani. Kwa ground mambo ni tofauti. Kwa ground mambo ni very tofauti. So we need to merge the gap of what is written on the constitution. We need to merge the gap of what is written on the constitution on what we practice on the reality. The home is meant to be an ultimate safe space for all of us. For our daughters, for our sons, for our children. It is meant to be an ultimate safe space to rebuild our lives when our job ends. We as the children, our job can end, we can get sick, you can lose your economic stability. Where will you go if not back to your home? We need to talk, this message, I'm sending it to all parents. When your child comes back home, the marriage has ended, her job has ended, she has no any other source of income, accept them back home, give them an enabling environment to heal, give them an enabling environment to get back on their foot, instead of putting more pressure, instead of putting more stress on this person who has lost their stability of life. Give them an enabling environment so that they can be able to regain their strength and be able to regain their life back and be able to focus on life. The reality in most homes is that most homes have become more dangerous. You are likely to be raped in your own homes nowadays. You are likely to be killed in your own homes nowadays more than in a public space. So we need to reflect on that. Most homes, most of the things that are being done, women are being killed in their own homes. Our daughters are being raped in our own homes. Our children are being molested in our own homes. Yet there's nothing we as the people in the community are willing to do about it. We are just watching from a distance. My cousins, my relatives, my aunties have been watching my life from a distance like a movie. They refuse to hold my hand. My cousins refuse to hold my hand. My aunties, my uncles refuse to hold my hand. And yet you claim to have a family. Yet you claim to have a society. These things about watching people go through pain, yet you can do something about it, it needs to end. And that is why I'm coming out with my own story, to make the society understand what it means to walk a painful journey alone without no one holding your hand. Our homes are not safe. Our schools are not safe. Our children are being raped in schools. Our churches are not safe. When you go to church and you're facing trauma, stress trauma of life, stress trauma of economic challenges, you'll not be able to get a healing platform in your church. Most of the churches have put so many rules, unnecessary rules, yet we want to go there and heal. Maybe you want to go there, your healing, you find your healing in worshiping, you find your healing maybe in singing, you find your healing maybe in playing keyboard, you find your healing maybe in serving in a certain dimension. But you find most of the churches have so many unnecessary rules. I call them political rules. That you cannot, you'll be told hawezi enda choir, hawezi guza keyboard, hawezi fanya ABCD, and that time that person wants to spend their life in church just to heal, just to connect with God, just to connect with the atmosphere that gives them life. So we need to give an enabling environment from churches where people, when they come with a broken season of life, they can be able to rebuild their life back. So this is why when it comes to elections, electing the right people, nominating the right people as political leaders matters, because the political people that are nominated, the political people that are elected, they have unique convening powers to be able to convene the society and speak about such kind of issues that I'm speaking about here. They have unique convening powers to convince the local authorities to be able to bring order and justice into issues that are overwhelming societies and in homes. Issues about gender-based violence, issues about rape and defilement, issues about FGM. If you elect the right people, if we nominate, if the political parties nominate the right people, people that are vocal, people that are intentional, people that have the interest about community initiatives, such kind of people have unique convening powers to be able even to go to the assembly, national assembly, county assembly, and propose policies that can be able to be changed so that our community can get back to be shaped in the right way. So the challenges of policy, legal frameworks, these are the people who can change such kind of issues. So as a society, as a nation, as a global village, we need to embrace the voice of ending gender-based violence. We need to embrace the voice of ending FGM in our societies. And I'm emphasizing one way of ending all these things is since we are going to elections 2027, let's elect leaders that have the inspiration of community work in the society. Let's not just go electing people because they have money. Let's not go electing people because they have big cars, because they have aligned with a certain party, because they have the power to pull a crowd, because they have an arbitrary influence to be able to make people laugh. Let's look at the right characters, the right values that someone as an individual has. If you elect someone who has an interest in community initiatives, if you nominate people who have an interest in changing society, impacting lives, transforming lives, such kind of issues that we have in the society can end. The issues about gender-based violence, they are very deep, but people don't like talking about them. Society has built a taboo around such kind of issues that people don't want to open up. People are walking on eggshells in our community. People are afraid to talk about their issues. People are afraid to open up because of the stigma, because of how so-and-so will look at me, because of how so-and-so will judge me. And I'm here to break that pattern. I'm here to break that mindset. I'm here to change the norm of that people should be allowed to speak out. People should be allowed to open up with their pain. People should be allowed to say that they are not okay. People should be allowed and should normalize to seeking help when they're in a corner and they cannot find someone to understand them. My call to action is to let us remove the disconnect between what we do in public and what we say in private. Many of us, leaders in churches, in politics, in the government, we have very strong values that we speak in public, but what we do in private in our homes is very different. Let's remove that gap of that disconnect. Whatever we say in public, let us also practice in our homes. If we say we need peace, if we say we need to respect one another, if we say that gender-based violence is bad, when you go back to our homes, let's practice the same thing. When you find your neighbor beating the children, beating the wives, or they are fighting as a couple, you need to be vocal and speak out about it, so that now such kind of issues we can find long-term solutions for such kind of issues. We need to reduce the gap of what is in the paperwork of our constitution, what is in the paperwork of our government offices, and put true experience of solutions experienced at the grassroots. I choose to challenge the patterns of gender-based violence because these patterns are meant to humiliate. These patterns, they break one's self-esteem. After I went all that commotion with my parents, the domestic violence of my dad beating me up, my mother chasing me away from home at night, those things broke my self-esteem. Those things broke my strength. It made me feel so broken inside me. Up to date, bringing people close to my life, it is a very big challenge. I fear bringing people close to my personal life. I fear a lot in bringing people around my personal social life because I'm afraid they might treat me like the way my parents treated me. So that thing I carried over my shoulders in so many dimensions, it's just that I don't express it. And I'm saying this for parents to get to know, the moment you violate your children's rights, the moment you treat your children in a rough way, you become toxic to your children. You become, you always insulting them. You're always telling them negative things. These things break their emotions down. These things break their strength down. Some of them will commit suicide. Some of them that are not able to understand different seasons of life, they will rush into drug and substance abuse. Some of them will start most of the awkward things that are happening in the society. I choose to challenge these patterns of gender-based violence because it is manipulating people to break their self-esteem, to break their strength, and to lose hope in life. I call upon the people across the world, in Africa, in other continents, across Tarakaniti County, all over the world, to hold my hand into this noble campaign of sanitizing our homes, of sanitizing our societies, of sanitizing our societies, of sanitizing our homes into sobriety of love, into sobriety of unity, into sobriety of forgiveness, into sobriety of letting anger and bitterness to not thrive. We need to be intentional to loving one another. We need to be intentional to forgiving one another. We need to be intentional to letting go of anger and bitterness in our societies. So that has been how I was able to transition back to settling down after all that happened. So after I went to Ebenezer Prayer Center, and my helper, my destiny helper that gave me the house, got to understand the challenges that I'm going through. He donated his own car. By that time I didn't have money. He donated his own car and fueled the car, and we went with that car to the village to pick my things. People keep asking me why do I share these stories? If I did not speak out then, would I have gotten people to walk with me? Ask yourself that. If I would not have spoken out and opened up about my journey, where would I have gotten angels to walk with me in this season. It is not everyone, I know it's not everyone that will understand my coming out of my pain and healing, from looking for healing through speaking out into the public. I know it's not everyone who understand this. I know it's not everyone that will subscribe to me talking about the challenges of my family, but I got to do what I got to do to push my voice out into leadership. I got to do what I got to do, as long as it is the right thing, to push my campaign of ending gender-based violence in the societies. I need to push my voice to end the fight about domestic violence in homes. If I keep quiet, the generations behind me will go through similar kind of patterns, and there will be no one to fight for their justice. There will be no one to say that this is wrong. There will be no one to say that the justifications of this need to be taken to court. The justifications of this need to be arraigned in court, and healing needs to be found. So I'll keep speaking more about this journey. The next phase that we'll be talking about is about how, whether I forgive my parents of what they did to me or not, and how I'm surviving. Most of you have been asking me whether I have an income that I'm earning on monthly basis, how I'm sustaining my personal life, how I'm able to move from point A to B in serving the community. So keep tuned here. For them that will watch this vlog, I really appreciate. I will really love to see many views, because the moment you view, it gives me a warmth of knowing that I'm not alone. It gives me a warmth of knowing that there are people who are working with me in this season. It gives me a warmth of knowing that I've spoken hope and an inspiration to another person's life. It also gives me hope of knowing that most of my life I'm so lonely. I've been so isolated since I was just away from home. So being in this social platform, it acts like my family. Them that will watch these videos will become a sign to show me that I have a family that believes in my voice. I have a family that believes in my cause of ending gender-based violence. I have a family that believes in my light of empowering the community initiatives. So it gives me a lot of hope for everyone that is watching. It gives me a lot of strength for everyone that is working with me in this platform. And for the new subscribers that are subscribing, I appreciate so much. I'm really grateful for working with me in this journey. Share this video widely so that we can be able to inspire more conversations. We can be able to change the mindset of the people in the society. We can be able to change the patterns of how people think in the community. We can be able to become a healing in the process of reuniting our homes, reuniting our families into more peaceful homes, into more loving homes, into more growth and prosperity of seeing positive things in our society. So keep tuned here, keep it locked here for the next episode, and bye bye for becoming my company of the day. Let's keep it tuned here in the program, in the Plugnes Kanya show.